Let me ask you something honest. If the right person, someone who needed exactly what you offer and had the ability to pay for it, if they were to stumble across one of your social media pages right now, would they know exactly what you do? Would they know if that thing is for them? Would they know what next steps to take in order for them to be able to get whatever it is that you're offering? Most people that I talk to, the answer is no to at least one of those. And it's costing you way more than you actually realize. In my last video, I talked to you about how I built $67,000 in 1 month without fully understanding how. Today, I'm going to be deep diving into the framework that I discovered when I went back in and I reverse engineered how I was actually having that success. And I realized that there is only 3 things that every business has that creates their consistent income. I like to call it the AOS Framework. And by the end of this video, you're going to be able to understand what the AOS Framework is and which one of these pieces inside of the framework is your weakest right now and exactly what you need to be doing about it. So if you saw my last video, you know that the AOS Framework stands for attention, offers, and systems. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to break down each one specifically, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when one is actually working. I'm going to show you what it looks like when one is not necessarily working and what you need to do in order for you to be able to fix it. And I'm going to be breaking down some of these principles on the iPad today because I found that once you see this visually, it's going to click a lot faster for you and you'll be able to understand it a lot more clearly. But I will be spending most of my time on attention because I feel like attention is the one where the biggest gap is for most people. And it's the one that is misunderstood the most. And once you understand exactly how to be able to get attention, then you'll be able to understand how to make offers and how to structure your systems around offers as well as attention. So before we break down each one specifically, we have to identify that all 3 of these pillars are in one specific system. So the framework is we got attention plus offers plus systems is what's going to be able to create consistent income for you. Most people go wrong not realizing that your income right now is a direct reflection of your ability to have all 3 of these things in sequence and working together. So while a lot of people try to feel like this is something that is separate, they're almost like a chain, and it's definitely a system. Like you need one without the other, because if you have attention without any type of offers, then that's going to be pointless because you're getting eyes with nothing to actually be able to sell. On the other end, if you have offers but no attention, then you are pretty much building something that nobody else can find. And if you have both of these two without a system, then you're just going to run yourself in a loop of constantly selling, feeling like you have to deliver and having to overwork and being the only person on your team. That can become extremely overwhelming when you're trying to do all of these things together without a specific system. And if you don't know where your leak is, then it's going to be extremely hard for you to be able to identify that leak and put something on top of it so that you can be able to get back up and running. And a lot of people right now, they have a cup that has a bunch of holes in it because they don't understand how simple to be able to put all 3 of these things together. So let's go ahead and deep dive into what attention actually means. Attention is your ability to get the right people to notice you consistently. Now, I'm not talking about likes. I'm not talking about followers. I'm not talking about you just getting a bunch of views or going viral on a specific post just for the sake of you having numbers that are popping up on the screen. I'm talking about your ability to get in front of the right people, the people that actually have the problems that your offer can actually provide some type of solution to. Most people cannot grow their income because your income cannot grow outside of your reach, especially if you're trying to become an online business. You can have the best offer in the world, but if nobody knows that you exist, then there's no way for you to be able to make any type of money because you cannot sell to people that don't know that you exist. So although this is the first pillar, we got to realize that if this is broken, then everything else is going to be broken. You can't worry about offers and you can't worry about systems. Most people have the systems, which is where they start. Like you understand the process and what you should be doing in order for you to be able to get a result. But then when we get to attention, we have not necessarily been able to focus on how to be able to get the attention from the people that are actually going to buy the things that we have to offer. We're getting attention, but sometimes the attention is from friends and family and people that may have known us in the past. And although that attention is where most people are going to get started, most of the time, the people that have known you is not your ideal audience. It's not the people that actually need what you have to offer. So that's why most people feel like, okay, well, if I go out here and I create something, I'm never going to be able to make money because I don't have anybody that will buy from me. The people that I am putting myself in front of right now, which is your friends, family, the people that just follow you, it's like they're not supporting you, or it feels like they're not supporting you. But what if the thing that you have created isn't for them? So it's like you're not supporting them in a way by trying to go out here and create something that can be helpful to the people that actually need it. So what does broken attention actually look like? There's a lot of different factors. One being when you have been posting, but you're not necessarily getting traction from the right audience. Or if you're like me, you've been getting a lot of views, but those views aren't turning into any type of buyers. And my biggest problem with myself was I always knew that when I first started or became consistent with posting content daily and weekly, my focus was to get better at making content. So I purposely did not make an offer to anybody for the first 3 months of me just posting content consistently, because I knew that if I'm starting from scratch, then right now I have to go out here and figure out what my audience even is. A lot of people don't even get started because they feel like their audience is people that they want to buy their stuff, not understanding that if you have something to offer, you have to figure out what those people are actually looking for, the transformation in which they're looking for. A lot of us, we go out here and we offer people what we feel like we want them to have. So when I first got started posting content, my problem was I was getting attention, I was getting subscribers, I was getting followers on all of the different platforms, and it was happening fast in my eyes because I knew if I was able to get in front of 100 people in one room, that I would change their lives for the rest of time. So I had to look at it the same way, although it was on a screen and I'm looking at the numbers. I'm not necessarily able to have conversations with these people to see exactly where they are, but it's giving me some type of data and it's showing me proof of concept. So most people don't even get started posting because they feel like they have to keep starting over, because every time that they post something, nobody remembers them in between what it is that they posted. But that's not necessarily a content problem. That's really a positioning problem, because when you are posting content, you have to be able to not only post the right type of content, you got to post the content that's going to fit the right people. And when you make content that fits the right people, then those people feel like you understand them. They feel like you trust them. They actually want to work with you. And the question that rises is, how can I be able to get more from this person in my ability of trying to solve my particular problem? So me, I posted videos until people actually started asking me for help. Like I was just posting because I wanted to get better at making content. I wanted to become more confident speaking on screen. I wanted to be more confident in making this form of content and learning all of the different ways to be able to do so. So I started out with practice, but through practice, I was also able to figure out what actually was working and what the right way to attract attention was. So through my trial and error, what I realized that fixed attention actually looks like is when you are talking specifically to a person. A lot of people have the biggest problem of feeling like they don't know who to talk to because they're trying to talk to everybody. But you got to be able to speak to somebody specifically, because when you're speaking to somebody that specifically has problems, then when they see your content, not only are they going to engage with it, they're engaging with that content because they feel like you see them. They feel like you understand exactly where they are, because they didn't ask you to pop up on their screen. But if you're going to pop up on their screen and take some type of attention away from them, which is their time that they are giving to you, although it is in a quick 60 seconds, or it might be, a couple of minutes if you are making long form content, when you get that attention from that person, you are immediately trying to gain their trust. And the people whose trust you gain, it comes from the people that you are speaking directly to. And in 2026, this is probably one of the best times to get started because a lot of people feel like, well, I don't have a big following, so there's nothing or there's nobody out there that will be able to buy from me. But there's millions of people that are in the same exact situation that you are in. Like I said, they just don't know that you exist. But when you start to create content that speaks directly to their problem, they're not just going to come back and watch your content because they're genuinely interested. They're going to save and share your content, which is going to tell Meta, which is Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and YouTube and all of these different platforms. What this is going to do for them is going to sit there and it's going to say, hey, this person shared this type of content. Let us be able to look at what interests they have so that we can put this in front of people that also share some of their same interests, which is why when you are scrolling on TikTok, or scrolling on Instagram or anywhere specifically, and you see content that is filtered directly for you, it is because the people that have saved and shared it are also like you, which gives you the competitive edge. But most people aren't looking at it like this because they don't understand creating content from a data collecting standpoint. They're just looking at it as, I don't have a lot of followers. I'm not going to be able to make any type of money because I don't have a lot of followers. Nobody's going to want to be able to buy my thing. But because all of these platforms are organic and their entire point is to keep people's attention, when you understand how to become a partner with those people, which is the Facebook, the TikToks, the Instagram, when you're able to look at this as a partnership with them, they're doing their job and as far as getting people in front of the right content, because when people click on their apps, they want to keep people on their apps. So if you are a person that knows how to grab people's attention and hold their attention, they're going to put your stuff in front of people a lot more frequently. And those people are going to be people that you can actually be able to solve problems for them. And that's when everything starts to unlock for you on the attention aspect. Here's something that I had to start asking myself because one of my mentors came to me and he was completely honest with me. He was like, you are never going to make money because people don't know exactly what you do the moment that they look at your page. So the question that I have for you is, when people come to your page, do they immediately know how you can be able to help them? And do they have a call to action to be able to take the next step in order for them to be able to get a result that you are offering? If the answer is anything other than yes, then you have an attention problem and you need to focus more on this particular pillar. Now, as far as being able to set this up is extremely simple because you have to talk about who it is that you help, which is what I'm about to talk to you in the offer section about. So what is an offer? An offer is not what you do. An offer is what someone gets in specific terms when they actually pay you. For a very long time, I was stuck in the position of feeling like I didn't have anything to offer to people because I confused the two. I will always say what I did, not what it is that I can be able to offer people. So when people would ask me what I did, I would say I do coaching, but I do coaching is not an offer. And that's how or where most people are actually stuck. An offer looks like I help people who are stuck underneath $10,000 a month identify one gap inside of the AOS framework in which they are stuck in, and I build a 30-day plan for them to be able to work through it so that they can hit their first $50,000 a month. That is an offer. It took me such a long time to be able to get to that threshold because, for one, I didn't understand exactly who I was helping, so I didn't know how I could be able to help them. But after I understood how to be able to help people, or the right person, I should say, once I understood how to create attention in the right way, I was able to figure out that, hey, my target audience is people who are stuck underneath $10,000 a month, people that may have online businesses or brands, and they're in between that $10,000 to $25,000 a month threshold. What I can be able to offer them is help by identifying where they're stuck and giving them a plan to be able to work towards getting to $50,000 per month and so on and so forth. So the more specific your offer is, the easier it's going to be in order for you to be able to sell. But most people don't realize that the easier it is to sell, the easier it is to also deliver. Because when you're talking to the right person and you're not trying to sell to everybody, you're talking to one person that has a specific problem, and that specific problem they have a huge pain point with, and they will do anything in order for them to get closer to pleasure and avoid the pain. Most people are trying to sit here and they're trying to talk to everybody. When I was saying I do coaching, it's like, well, who is the coaching for? I do coaching. I could have been a life coach. I could have been a fitness coach. I could have been a nutrition coach. There's so many different coaches. So when you have all of these varieties, vague is unclear. Like when you are not specific, it makes it hard because now it's harder for you to be able to find who you can help specifically. So you feel like you're not able to help anybody because your content is not reaching the right people. But the right people is everybody right now for you. And you're making things universal, which is not turning into any type of consistent income. So most people do have skills, but just because you have skills, it does not mean that you're just going to get paid unless you figure out how to package your skills. For a very long time, I was stuck in between. I have all these skills. I know how to do everything about everything. I'm sure it's a lot of you that are in that same position right now. But if you're not able to package that up and put it inside of an offer that you can be able to give to a specific person, and that specific person can know that you're talking directly to them, you're going to be in a constant loop of feeling like you have what it takes, but the income is not showing up for you quite yet. So now we got into the last part of the AOS framework, which is systems. All a system is a repeatable process that delivers a promised result time after time, regardless of how motivated you feel on a given day. Because we got to understand that motivation is a feeling. So because it is a feeling, that means that it will come and go, but a system will always stay. I said in my last video that people sometimes fail, but systems never do. And I want to elaborate further on that. A system can fail if you are not running the correct system, or if you're not using that system in the right type of process. Because a system means that one thing happens and that's going to trigger another thing. And after that triggers another thing, you need to be able to solve that fourth or fifth thing without being the person that is always having to show up based on how you feel. The reason why most entrepreneurs own a hustle instead of actually having a real business is because they are trying to be the person that does everything inside of the business, not understanding that because you are human, you will have emotion. And some days you're not going to want to show up and give it 100%. But when you are actually able to build a system, you're going to build something that does not require you to always feel inspired. It's not going to require you to always be 100%. It's going to be something that's going to be working for you 24/7, regardless if you are there or you are not, with a click of a button, which is when business is something that takes it to the next level. When I was building a $67,000 month and I was stacking on $40,000, $50,000 months, I wasn't doing it because I showed up every day as Iron Man and I had everything figured out. I was only able to do it because I developed a way for me to be able to grab attention, for me to be able to make offers to those people, and how for them to be able to come in, get fulfilled, or come in and immediately get what it is that they asked for and get the results that I promised them, time in and time out, like in the fastest way possible. Like that was what I was doing. Although I was not familiar with why I was doing it. I was doing it because it just felt like the right thing to do. It felt like because that's the standard that I had. This is the only thing that I need to be focused on. But in the same time, I realized that systems are what actually make attention and offers sustainable over a longer period of time. And back then I didn't understand that. All I had to do was just double down on attention and offers. I felt like because I didn't understand how I had got to the success that I was, it was in a way it was accidental, not because I wasn't doing the right things, but because I didn't know why the right things were actually working. I didn't know that over time, if you just double down on attention and offers and you just continue to rinse, wash, repeat, meaning let me figure out a way to turn the volume up on getting more attention. And then let me figure out how to turn the volume up on being able to get more offers. And if I have a system that loops people in between the two, then I'm going to be able to look at it from like just one sheet and know how much money I'm going to make every single month, time in and time out. And if I'm not making money that I feel like I should be making, then my attention and my offers might be wrong, or I need to go ahead, I need to amplify my systems. Now, I'm only able to tell you this, guys, because I have lived it. I've had attention, I've had offers, and there's been a point in time where I was doing both without any type of real system behind it. And when things slowed down, I always wondered why I was going back and building from scratch instead of being able to amplify the things that were actually working. But systems is the one thing that will actually go from you being a streaky person, meaning you make money sometimes and then other months you don't make money at all. When you identify the right system and you put it inside of your business, that's when a real business turns into a business. So now that we've been able to deep dive into what attention, offers, and systems actually is, I need for you to go ahead and take your next move. Now, a lot of people are not going to take any action at all. And then there's some people that are going to probably try to take all of the action at once. But I need you to do one specific thing, and this is going to help you be able to move the lever the most. You got to be able to focus on which one is your weakest right now. So which one are you the weakest in? Is it attention? Is it the fact that the right people don't necessarily know that you exist, or maybe they don't trust you? Or is it offers? Are you not sure exactly what to sell to people or how to be able to package it up in a way to be able to get the right people to say yes to you? Or is it systems? Have you been working, but nothing is repeatable, so you constantly feel like you have to start over from scratch? I need you to be able to get familiar on which one of those is the weakest. And if you want my help with it at all, drop it in the comments below, and I'm going to read all of them. And I actually have something that I have been waiting to announce to you guys on this particular video. I have created a AOS blueprint. It is completely for free. I'm going to link it inside of the description below. You can go in and pretty much download this for free and be able to look. And it has evaluations in it, like self-evaluations, where you'll be able to look at attention, all of the different forms of attention. You'll be able to look at offers and how to be able to set your first offer up, as well as systems and all of the things that you actually need in place. So if that's something that would be helpful for you, go ahead. There's no catch at all. Just go ahead and click the link in the description, get your free copy. And once you do that, make sure that you get in contact with me so that I can give you a free consultation. I'll sit on a call and I will identify and see where we are right now so that we can be able to get to your first $50,000 a month if that's something that you are trying to hit. Now, obviously, at the time of this video, I can only do it for a certain amount, but I'm going to do it until my schedule is packed out and it is full. So in closing of this video, the AOS framework is not something that is complicated, and every business that is operating and is making some type of consistent income is doing this in some type of way, shape, or form. But what most people don't realize is that if you are doing one or the other and you're not doing all three together, then your income is going to always remain inconsistent. But now you are aware of what the three pillars actually are. And once you are actually able to identify which one is your weakest, then you see the gap that you actually need to close, and you'll get clear on the direction in which you want to take, which is my overall point in making these videos, to make sure that you have clarity with some type of direction attached to it, because that's what I wish I had when I first got started. So if this was something that was beneficial to you, make sure that you reach out to me and let me know in the comments below, and subscribe and share this with somebody else that it can also be able to help. And in the next video, I'm going to show you guys exactly what it looks like when somebody's able to identify where their gap is and they start moving on all three of these things, how fast your consistent income is going to be able to pick up. So until the next time, peace and love.